A Northwest derby in the Barclays English Premiership. It's Wigan Athletic versus Bolton Wanderers at the JJB Stadium, a venue that's just 11.5 miles or 18.5 kilometres from the Reebok Stadium, the home of today's visitors. A local derby means a Sunday lunchtime kickoff for a fixture that also brings together two of the teams in the top 10 of the Premiership going into this weekend's rather fragmented programme. There are 5 Sunday games to follow, 5 Saturday fixtures, with Bolton having joined Everton, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United and Middlesbrough in Europe this week. Bolton's first ever European excursion was to Bulgaria, to Burgas on the Black Sea on Thursday, where they defeated Lokomotiv Plovdiv 2-1 to win through to the group stages of the UEFA Cup with a 4-2 aggregate advantage. Bolton then with an eye on Europe, although they've now gone 5 games unbeaten in the Premiership, while Wigan are focused on maintaining their impressive start to their first ever Premiership campaign. Wigan went into the weekend in 9th place after winning at Everton 1-0 and increasing their unbeaten run in the Premiership to 4 games. Bolton were as high as 3rd after their 1-0 home success over Portsmouth last Saturday. They're now 5th, Wigan 10th. Bolton have become the United Nations of the Barclays English Premiership, with no fewer than 17 nationalities represented in their squad list. Wigan here in the blue and white stripes, Bolton in their change strip, the all dark blue. Wigan Athletic are unchanged, even though manager Paul Jewell claimed his team was second best for the first 45 minutes of last week's 1-0 win over Everton at Goodison Park. Australian goalkeeper John Filan plays his 350th game in England. Record signing Henri Camara, who missed 3 games after damaging a hamstring when last away on international duty, has just learned that he's now been included in the Senegal squad for their World Cup qualifier against Mali next week. Bolton returned from Bulgaria on Friday, having beaten Lokomotiv Plovdiv and secured their place in the group stage of the UEFA Cup. Kevin Nolan injured an ankle in that game, but he is okay. Gary Speed is also available after shaking off a back injury, and this lineup shows 1 change from the team that defeated Portsmouth 1-0 in the Premiership. Radi Jaidi returns because Nicky Hunt is out for 6 weeks after cracking a tibia. El Hadjouf is on the bench. Kevin Nolan, who scored a spectacular goal against Portsmouth, he also made a crucial intervention in the UEFA Cup when he came on as a substitute in Burgas. Nolan currently Bolton's top scorer, 2 in the Premiership, 1 now in Europe. Damien Francis, who scored Wigan's winner at Everton last weekend. He today makes his 50th appearance in the Premiership, previously with Norwich City and Wimbledon. Aaron Desire now back at Wigan this season, previously with Portsmouth. And it was Desire who showed remarkable restraint when playing for Portsmouth last season at the Reebok Stadium in Bolton. When Bolton's El Hadjouf spat at him, Desire didn't react. Hadjouf was subsequently banned for 3 games and also fined 2 weeks' wages by Bolton Wanderers. Hadjouf here is on the bench. Crisp Sunday afternoon in the northwest of England. Our referee here is Alan Wiley, who makes his first ever appearance at the JJB Stadium. The last time he took charge of a Wigan game, they were playing at their old home at Springfield Park. They drew 1-1 with Manchester City in a 2nd Division playoff semi-final back in May 1999. There's just 11.5 miles between Wigan and Bolton, making this yet another of the Premiership's many Northwest derby fixtures. Much has happened though since these 2 teams last met in the league. 12 years ago when Wigan was still playing at their old ground at Springfield Park, and Bolton was still 2 promotions away from taking their bow in the Premiership. Nolan has done enough here to win a throw-in for Bolton Wanderers, here in their change strip, all dark blue. Early opportunity for Bolton to play the percentages game. Kocha ready to wind up a long throw. Nolan to the edge of the 6-yard area. Davis is in there. Filen able to punch clear. Roberts looking to McCulloch. And here's Camera. It's a terrific run by Henri Camera. Bullard's arriving. And in the end, it's Garden who sweeps the ball to safety. Really positive opening to this Northwest derby. Kocha there with a firm challenge. Long towards Bullard. And again, it's Garden who's under pressure.
What a good positive start from Wigan Athletic. Decisive run by Camera there, committing people.
Bullard across to take the corner kick. Chimbonda's gone forward. Deseo now ready to make his move. Whipped in again by Chimbonda. And placed there by McCulloch. Well, he had so much time then, Lee McCulloch.
It just shows what a confident side Wigan are at the moment. They've come into the Premiership and just treated as if it's another division. Very unlucky against Chelsea on the opening day of the season. I was at the game last week when they played Everton and beat Everton. They fear nobody.
Nolan. And sure to find Kavanagh. Kocha. Maybe a free kick to Wigan Athletic. Gary Speed, who's shaken off a back injury to take his place in the Bolton starting lineup here. He missed the UEFA Cup tie in Bulgaria on Thursday. McCulloch's header on. Speed was tripped. Gary Speed has only just recently celebrated his 36th birthday.
Still enjoying the game and a fantastic professional wherever he's been.
Gary Speed featured in all 38 of Bolton's Premiership fixtures last season. Only one of them as a substitute.
Well, the days gone by, you hit around about the 30 mark and you were excess baggage, but now, of course, they're a lot fitter. They've got fitness trainers and nutritionists, and they just keep them going a lot longer than they used to.
It is now a science. Bolton decided to stay in Bulgaria until Friday. They had the option of flying home after the game on Thursday evening, but Sam Allardyce was advised that they'd be better off staying in Bulgaria.
Well, that's the latest flag I've seen for a long time. He just saw the situation, didn't raise his flag. And was this the right decision? I'm not sure it was. Look, the flag stays down, and now he decides to put it up when the player's gone beyond the back four.
Henri Camera now giving Wigan an extra attacking option. Had his problems with a hamstring injury, but scored on his debut as he came on as a substitute against Middlesbrough, a game that Wigan drew here 1-1. Pedersen, striker turned left back for Bolton Wanderers this season. Chimbonda, who's already established himself as a firm favourite with the Wigan supporters.
He was terrific last week at Everton. Lovely attacking full-back, good in possession of the ball, delivers good quality.
Chimbonda is in his first season with Wigan, having joined them from Bastia, who were relegated from the Championnat, the top division in France. He was linked with both West Ham United and Marseille, but decided to join Wigan.
Sam Allardyce has had a bit of an unfair stick given to him regarding his formation he chooses for his team. So it's a 4-5-1 again. If you've got the right players to play that, which Bolton obviously have, with Davis up front, a great target man, You've got Pedersen who'll join in, Okocha will join in, Nolan. Totally a negative formation when you look at the players he's got.
His speed. Ben Haim. Gardner. And by Pedersen. They will come out. Now Chimbonda. He was brought down then. Camera goes on.
Well, Chimbonda not very happy with that decision.
There will be a yellow card for Hidetoshi Nakata. Made his full debut for Bolton last weekend in that win over Portsmouth.
A terrific break again by Wigan. They have pace all over the pitch, and when they utilise it, it frightens defenders to death.
Onsha. Davis was across quickly then. Bolton, as Gary has mentioned, playing with just Davis alone in attack. Okocha getting forward whenever he possibly can to join him. Roberts, who's done enough to win the corner kick.
It's a totally dominant Wigan at the moment, playing with a lot of flourish, getting players to join in quickly from midfield to aid the strikers.
Dezeo's gone forward. And by Bullard. And towards Chimbonda. Cleared by Nolan. Only as far as Kavanagh. It's a terrific cross by Graham Kavanagh. Appeals for handball there from certainly McCulloch. Bates. Kavanagh. Finding the width and finding Chimbonda.
Bolton have to be at the best to deal with what Wigan are throwing at them at the moment. Good possession, good pace, good tempo from Wigan.
Onsha. Now Bates. It's just about out of play.
It was disappointing. Good build-up, good possession again at the cross. Not the best.
Leighton Baines, a former Wigan trainee who's been called up again by the England under-21 squad for the 2 games they have next weekend against Austria and Poland. Could be crucial to England qualifying for the European under-21 championships next year.
Well, I'll tell you what, that linesman's flag is going up very, very quickly at the moment. I think he made a bad decision in the first one. Was this a bad one? No, he's just stood offside. Just got it right there. Dangerous game playing that high up the park when you've got the pace of Camara and the pace of Roberts against you. All it needs is one ball a little bit down the channels and you're in trouble.
Here's Nolan. And so sticking to his task. The ball has gone out for a corner kick. Stefan Onshaw bringing some added experience to that Wigan back line this season, as has the return of Aaron Deseo, the skipper. Jaidi has gone forward with Ngotti. Speed poised. We've seen some pushing inside the penalty area then as well.
There's always a bit of pushing and shoving in the penalty box. 6 and 2 threes there. Always happens. Very rarely the referee gives anything, but Alan Wiley decides to do that. And he's been a busy man so far this season. 6 games, 18 yellows, 2 reds, so beware.
Nakata. Davis is offside.
And he'd be disappointed with it if he was offside, because he could see everything right across the line of the pitch, and he's just straight offside. He's got the perfect position to see what's going on, and the slip there, it was touch and go, but the flag went straight up. Good target man, but he needs to get midfield and around him very quickly, which Bolton have got the players to do that.
Kevin Davis, who hasn't scored since the opening day of the Premiership season. And Bolton were involved in a 2-2 draw with Aston Villa at Villa Park. 4 goals in the first 9 minutes. Here after 10 minutes, it's goalless.
It's a thankless task at times, playing that lone role up front.
Paul Gill, the Wigan Athletic manager, took Bradford into the Premiership and kept them in the Premiership.
His team are playing an excellent brand of football. They play a 4-4-2, which I'm a big advocate of. I love to see 4-4-2, and he's got the players in there that can do that. Roberts and Camera up front, loads of pace. They've got Connolly on the bench to come on if need be. Very organised midfield. Kavanagh leads them in the centre of midfield. They've been a breath of fresh air to the Premiership.
Wigan 4 games unbeaten. Bolton now 5 games unbeaten in the Premiership. They haven't conceded in their last 3 Premiership games. Carter now well forward for Bolton. Then how speed the Welshman. 17 nationalities now featuring in the Bolton squad. There were as many as 20 in pre-season when they had a couple of players in on trial.
Well, he knows his players, Big Sam. And he's assembled a very good squad. The expectation levels have gone up since last season. They get into Europe and the pressure becomes a little bit more intense, but they're carrying it well this season. They're up in the top half of the table yet again, and rightly so.
Nakachu, who's just arrived, of course, featured at the last World Cup for Japan. Borghetti, who's Mexico's top goal scorer ever. By Bullard, who scored a dramatic last-minute winner for Wigan Athletic when they were successful at West Bromwich Albion.
Go on, Henry. Henry, go on.
Pedersen. Marshall with Gardner. Here's Davis. Now Gardner. Forward support, but Isaiah able to bring the ball away. Roberts with Ngota. Here's Francis. Haven't been too many opportunities for Damien Francis to break forward from the Wigan midfielders yet. Francis who scored their winner at Everton last weekend.
It was only a tap in, but you have to be there to tap them in.
Too aggressive with the challenge then.
A little bit easy though, Chimbonda. He's writhing in agony. Looks like he's caught one on the hamstring. Not the best of throws to him, but there we come in and he's taken a heavy one there. That is more than clumsy from Davis. Well, then that's a yellow card. I'd say it was a striker's challenge, but it was a bad striker's challenge.
Dead late this for Chimbonda. As Gary mentioned, he was caught on the outside of the thigh then.
Look at this, how clumsy, and that is a really poor tackle. That is a yellow card every game of the season for me.
Chimbonda grimaces. His manager looks rather concerned. This is a worry for Paul Gill and for Wigan. Chimbonda most impressive, having made the switch from France to England at the start of this season.
Really be carrying on. That's a lot of pain there.
Steve McMillan and Matt Jackson are both warming up on the near side at the moment, two of the Wigan Athletic substitutes. Bullard then with the free kick. Looking towards McCulloch. And by Ben Hayek. And hooked away by Nakata. Here's Speed. On by Garden. Speed once more. Wanted to release the ball early to Davis. Now he has found him. Gardner racing forward in support here. Zeo stands firm. I do feel there's a real edge about this game, a local derby, and one of so many in the Premiership for both Wigan and Bolton Wanderers this season. Only camera. He can't get away from Ngotti. He has just managed it though.
Battle there between Ngotti and Camera. A lot of pace, a lot of strength.
It is significant that since Bruno Ngotti returned from suspension that Bolton have conceded just one goal in the Premiership. Baines. Gardner prepared to take on Chimbonda, who's still limping heavily. And that will be a free kick to Bolton Wanderers. I don't think Chimbonda could do anything else then. He's not moving too easily.
No, and you don't want Gardner running at you when you've just had an injury like he has.
Gardner had his problems with injury last season. He needed a cartilage operation. He missed 5 Premiership fixtures in the end. Speed and Nolan over the ball. Nakata sizing up the options. It is Nakata. Just too high.
It's not a bad effort. He got it to dip late. Difficult technique. Nearly pulled it off. Gets it over the wall, looks like he'll be going high, then just starts to dip at the last minute, wide of the goal. Half decent attempt.
Hidetoshi Nakata, the Japanese international, who will be back on international duty next week. Friendlies for Japan against Latvia and Ukraine. Featured at the Confederations Cup during the summer and has been to the last 2 World Cups. Currently on loan with Bolton Wanderers from Fiorentina of Italy. Is being manhandled and has now got the free kick.
Koch is the man that Bolton want on the ball. Creative flair. Can turn the game on its head in an instant. They have a very fluid midfield. Got a lot of ability in there with Nolan, Nakata, with Gardner. But Koch is the man they like to have on the ball as much as possible.
It's towards Davis. Patterson. And Nakata. Slipped there by Speed. Recovered well. Kocha. Nakata. Chimbonda still appears to be struggling. Patterson. And Gardner. The flag has been raised for an offside.
Well, again, it's a sloppy thinking this by Gardner because he can see the whole picture. And he's caught offside at the far post.
Control by Jimmy Bullard. Pedersen. Nolan. Baines just did enough.
Does that so well though, Nolan. Times the run very well. Tries to break past Davis. Wigan just checking on
Chimbonda's condition. May well be that Wigan here are set to make a change. A forced change in the first half. Baines. Roberts with the shot, which Jaskalainen had well covered, but it was certainly worth a try.
Oh, worth a try without a doubt, because he takes it early. Little nudge in the back, and look how early he takes this. And it gets Jaskalainen just scrambling, he aware of his position in the middle of the goal, and just sees the ball wide.
It was bounced away off Chimbonda's back. Speed. Ben Hayoum. No. And he loses out to Baines, but Nakata is aware. Bullard is back to cover for Chimbonda now. Wigan still eager to make the change. They want to take Chimbonda off. Camera. Zaidi steps in, but he's lost out to Henri Camera.
The only criticism I think you could think of Camera, just hangs on to the ball a little bit too long for my liking at times when there's other options available to him.
Ball has been put out by Onshaw, and Wigan are desperate now to make this substitution. This is a great shame for Wigan Athletic. Midway through the first half, and they're forced to take off Pascal Chimbonda, who was hurt when he was tackled by Davis. It means some readjustment this for Wigan Athletic.
It is a big loss as well to Paul Jewell. He gives them another option on that right-hand side. Loves to get forward, can deliver good quality, good on the ball, and it's a big ask to replace him this early in the game.
So Chimbonda off to be replaced now by Ryan Taylor, 21-year-old in his first season with Wigan, having joined them from Tranmere Rovers. Pedersen. Taylor, who made the block. Pedersen decides to leave the throw to the long throw expert JJ Okocha. Davis on the edge of the 6-yard area. He's been joined there by Nolan. It's helped out by Taylor.
That's what they'd want, Bolton. Long throw into the box just to get something out of it, either a flick on or a corner, which they've got.
Gotti going forward. JD also in there. On by Davis. Okocha. Here's Nolan. Farland gathers.
If I was Davis there, I would be very upset with my teammates. He's got a wonderful flick on from the corner. Nobody's gambled.
And by Roberts. Here's Francis. A disappointing shot by Damien Francis.
Well, his first real opportunity to burst from midfield, and the adrenaline rush got to him there. Saw the opening and just snatched at it slightly.
Damien Francis, who was with Norwich City last season, he was their joint top scorer with 7 goals. Norwich relegated from the Premiership. Actually missed a game that Norwich won against Bolton just before Christmas when he was recovering from a fractured jaw that he fractured in training. Zaya's been able to find Taylor. Here's Buller. A wasteful pass by Jimmy Bullard, who's normally a model of consistency for Wigan. He's not missed a league game for them since he joined them from Peterborough United.
It's terrific. We've got a player like Bullard on your side. He's got ability, but his work rate is terrific. Box to box.
It's 116 consecutive appearances and counting. One short now of equaling the Wigan record. Nakata. Ben Haim. His first touch wasn't the best. And McCulloch always prepared to scrap. Davis, not the most popular figure inside the JJB Stadium. His challenge, which has resulted in Wigan making a first half change. Chimbonda off to be replaced by Taylor.
He was looking to get away with that as well, Davis. It was a poor challenge, to say the least.
Davis waits. Kocher ready to wind up another long throw. Like every other team in the Premiership, Wigan have done their homework.
But again, it gets the desired effect. They get themselves a corner again.
Nolan poised, has his speed. That's awkward for Filan, who doesn't get there.
Well, if Bolton were watching the game of last weekend against Everton, they will have seen Filan come out on 4 occasions and get nowhere near the ball. They've seen a video of that, I'm sure they have. Maybe a ploy.
Filan again has Nolan for company. And again, it's just flicked away by Francis. Goalkeeper looking in easy.
Just doesn't look confident in those situations. I think it must be playing on his mind from last weekend. He is a good keeper, we know that. Once you get something in your mind, it's difficult to get it out.
Kocher with another long throw. And again it's into the 6-yard area. Nolan pounces, and this time Filan just about does enough. Poor pass by Pedersen, picked up by Kavanagh. Roberts there to his left, Camera to his right with Bullard.
Yeah, Kavanagh went the wrong way, didn't see the brakes on the left-hand side, a lot of space.
Camera ran into Ben Haim then. A fragmented period of play. Bolton applying a lot of pressure. Lots of throws, lots of corner kicks. And John Filan in the Wigan goal, looking rather uncomfortable.
Yeah, Nolan nearly pounced there, but I think Filan did enough, more than enough, to block it. Whether the early storm, Bolton, just get into their stride.
Davis with McCulloch. Bolton have the decision.
It wasn't the best of challenges from McCulloch. Davis did well to get across him, just got half a yard on him. And the Wigan fans not happy with Mr. Davis in any shape or form at the moment.
Speed then with a free kick. It's out off Baines, it'll be a corner kick now.
Well, they did start very, very brightly, Wigan. Probably unlucky not to get something in the first 10 or so minutes. Bolton have gradually crept into this first half.
And by Nakata, and Filan again didn't get there. Maybe didn't give Onshaw a shout. Wigan have got away with it. Now there is a moment to maybe settle everyone down and to take a few deep breaths again.
You look at Nakata there, he's part of quite a vibrant midfield for Bolton, led by Gary Speed, maybe 36 Gary Speed, but he does lead by example. He still loves the game of football, still very fit.
Yes, nobody else has played more games in the Premiership than Bolton's Gary Speed. And here is Speed. To Jaskalainen, who sat out the UEFA Cup tie in Bulgaria on Thursday. Ian Walker given his first chance in goal. Just one Premiership defeat for Bolton Wanderers this season, a 1-0 home defeat by Everton. And now through to the group stages of the UEFA Cup, their first ever European adventure.
Their only defeat against Everton, is that their only victory, Everton's? Strange game football, isn't it?
So many of us delighted that Bolton have been able to take their place in Europe, but only too aware, of course, that so many teams who feature in European games then struggle when they make their reappearance in the Premiership. Out by McCulloch. Okocha. Some trickery from JJ Okocha. For the moment, Baines not deceived, keeping his eye firmly on the ball.
He is a pleasure to watch, Okocha. Look at the big smile. He enjoys every minute on a football pitch. It's what football's all about. Enjoy it. Sometimes in this country we're a little bit grim-faced when we go out there. Never a smile on many players' faces, but certainly one on that man's face, and no wonder with the ability he's got.
Yet another Bolton corner. Yet again it's Gary Speed who will take it. Headed clear by Buller. Slipped there by Roberts. Okocha with the shot. And he is sure that took a deflection.
All the Bolton arms went up there, but to no avail. And we see his ability. Gambles here, could have played it wide, decides to little drag back. Didn't see much of a deflection there, I must admit.
JJ Okocha, his last 5 goals have all been from the penalty spot. Cameron. Here's McCulloch. Francis arriving. Kavanagh didn't quite get hold of the shot then. Had plenty of time and seemed to steady himself. Whipped in by Taylor.
It's a bit better from Wigan. A lull in play from their perspective.
Wigan were magnificent. On their first appearance in the Premiership, they were beaten here by Chelsea 1-0, and then Crespo scoring in second half stoppage time. They lost then at Charlton. Everybody said it might be a difficult season for them, but they've bounced back magnificently. Nolan. And he got in there ahead of Filan.
Again we see the ability of Nolan. Capable of bursting forward, getting past the striker, times it to perfection, knows what's around him, just couldn't get the right purchase to send it goalwards. Terrific timing of his runs, Nolan.
Nolan, who scored that spectacular goal to win the game against Portsmouth last weekend. He also found the net when Bolton defeated West Ham United in a crucial goal in Europe on Thursday. And come on as a substitute.
Jules got a couple of gems in wide areas for him. He's got McCulloch, works down the left-hand side, Bullard down the right-hand side. Work rate terrific, commitment unbelievable.
Pedersen has given Nolan something to chase. Deseo provided a formidable block.
That's what we say about the Bolton formation. Yeah, Davies does play up front, but the runners from behind, when Okocha, Nolan, Gardner, it turns into a 4-4-2 very quickly. Or even a 4-3-3 if you like.
It's a very flexible formation.
It is when you've got the players. I get fed up with repeating myself sometimes. Formations never win games, players do. And the players out there know the system.
Bolton, well drilled. Carter just finding his feet in the Premiership. He was now in his second season in the top flight in England, the Israeli international. Jaidi. Niskalainen tries to pick out Davis. On by Bulla. Davis is offside.
It's a close one to call. Davis doesn't agree with it.
And Davis, who we mentioned, scored on the opening day of the Premiership season. Actually played for Chesterfield against Wigan in the old third division 10 years ago. He's still only 28. Nolan. He did get a sharp one from his goalkeeper. Filan has hoisted that forward towards Henri Camara.
The problem with doing that, as Filan did, he's firing it down the pitch, yes, but you look at the two centre halves, they're over 6 foot, 6'3". Benaim and Gotti, they just gobble everything up when it comes straight down the throats.
John Filan, who was never present for Wigan last season. 20 shutouts as well in 46 championship games. Nolan. And he tried to repeat against Wigan what he did last weekend against Portsmouth.
And the referee's called dangerous play, I think, there. Long hopeful ball up there. It's won by Davis well, and yes, it's dangerous. And he gets Zeo in the face.
Nolan already capped by England at under 21 level, but there has been some interest apparently from the Republic of Ireland, and he's yet to decide whether to commit to England or the Republic. Speed, who's called time in his Welsh international career. Bolton were successful on their travels last season on numerous occasions. Only Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United had more away wins. Pedersen well forward. The ball flicked out off Onshore for a corner kick.
Pedersen's got up well there. A lone man eventually, but he's got his team a corner.
Pedersen, the Danish international, who is a striker, now converted to a left back.
That's strange to see. I was just thinking exactly that.
In by Nakata. Out to Gardner. Nakata again. Bolton applying more pressure. Touched on by Speed. This time Filan is able to gather. Both these teams with other attacking options on the bench. Hadstuf and Jared Borghetti for Bolton. David Conley, of course, for Wigan Athletic, having started the season in the Championship with West Ham United. Noah. Okocha looking to find Nakata. Important interception that by Onshore. Stefan Onshore could be a significant signing for Wigan Athletic this season. Swiss international who has played in the Premiership previously for both Liverpool and Blackburn, of course. Pedersen feeling his left ankle.
Just a good touch from Camara as he went to head the ball clear. See Camara going up. Does he just land on him, or does he? Yeah, just lands on his instep there as he comes down.
Hadstuf, of course, infamously last season was banned for 3 games and fined 2 weeks' wages by Bolton Wanderers when he spat out at Aaron Dezay, who was then playing for Portsmouth in a game at the Reebok Stadium. Dezay, I think, won everyone's admiration for not reacting in any way.
Yeah, he did react in the right way. It's difficult to hold your anger sometimes, but hopefully that's put behind everybody. happened, unfortunately. Just move on.
Pedersen now back on, but looking as uncomfortable as Chimbonda did before he went off. Wigan forced to make one change in this first half. Chimbonda caught by Davis, and now Ryan Taylor is on in his place.
Wigan have got to get back to how they started this game. Keeping possession, moving the ball well, supporting the man on the ball and getting it down the channels, not playing the long ball down to Jaidi's throat and down Ngotti's throat. It's easy for them to contend with those sort of balls.
Best opening was probably the one that fell to Lee McCulloch, where he just tried to place the ball out of Jääskeläinen's reach. Arshaw scrapping. Bolton have the free kick, and Kavanagh will now be spoken to. While insisting that the wall is a pace further back. Nakata with the free kick. Now by Arshaw. Speed. Here's a Kocha. No offside. Well, everyone's angry.
Well, Wigan are very angry with the assistant for not giving offside. See it come out here, and that is offside. Davis was stood offside. Kocha's shot wasn't the greatest.
Kocha was being berated then by Davis, who felt that instead of going for goal, he should have delivered a more telling cross. Now by De Zee. Speed. Kocha. Just caught in the face accidentally, I have to say, by JJ Kocha.
Yes, it was accidental. And that is a Wigan throw. Paul Jules saying that is a Wigan throw. It came off for Kocha.
Yeah, really
flicks it there. That's a Wigan throw. Clearly.
That really does add insult to injury. And Paul Jules is now speaking to the referee.
Paul Jules exactly right. And that's where the fourth official, he's right next to the play. He could have said to the referee, yeah, that was a Wigan throw. It wasn't a Bolton throw. But no, the fourth official is just more intent on stopping the manager coming out his technical area. Well played.
Roberts. Done by Jaidi. Camera. Blood! Best chance that Wigan have had in this first half.
Without doubt. And he'll be so disappointed. Good break, get a bit of luck there. You think Cameron's going to get him in the box, turn him, but he doesn't. He sees Bullard's run at the far post. Perfect delivery. And you think 1-0. And he just headed it so far down into the ground, into the keeper's arms. Any side of the keeper there, you're 1-0 up. A golden opportunity just before the half-time whistle.
Jimmy Bullard, who's already scored in the Premiership this season, that last-minute winner at West Bromwich Albion. Final minute of normal time at the end of this first half.
Gardner's had a switch from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Trying to move Wigan around a little bit.
There's such flexibility and movement in this Bolton team. Baines. Kocha managed to get a footing. Wigan have another throw. Yeah, in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and we'd have 3 extra minutes. A couple of hold-ups for the injuries to Chimbonda and also Pedersen. Held up by Ben Haim. Baines there to provide some support and to deliver the cross. Ball out arriving, couldn't get there. Miscue by McCulloch. Wigan ending the first half brightly. Baines again, trying to keep the ball in play, but unsuccessful this time.
What a miss by McCulloch there. Roberts does well, and look at the flight of this delivery. Tremendous. Keeper can't come. Get a bit of luck here, but you think, go on, put it in the net. And he's just, body shape's all wrong. He's sliced across it. That's a shocker.
Yeah, McCulloch, who was Wigan's player of the season when they won promotion to the Premiership, scored 14 goals for them. Wigan this season, of course, minus Nathan Ellington, who was their top scorer, 24-21 for Roberts. It's significant that McCulloch's contribution should earn him the Player of the Season award.
Definitely, and he'll be livid with himself if he sees that again. He saw the opportunity, he knew he'd got time and space, and just took it too early, didn't get the body shape right.
Got it tidying up at the back again for Bolton. Sam Allardyce ready to sprint down to the dressing room.
Some would agree he was never a sprinter when he played. I played against him. He was a lot of things, but not a sprinter, maybe.
Made you look quick as well, did he?
Something like that. He could play as well, believe me.
Into the third and final minute of first half stoppage time now. Nolan with the throw. Here's a Kocha. He's deceived McCulloch. This is just too long for Gardner.
It's disappointing again to gain another little bit of trickery from Kocha.
Speed. So the end of the first half, which promised much. Wigan started brightly, but Bolton then asserted themselves before Wigan bounced back just before half-time. A glorious opportunity for Lee McCulloch, but a complete air shot. And that moments after Jimmy Bullard had perhaps Wigan's best chance. A header which was straight at Jussi Jääskeläinen. Half-time in this Northwest derby then at the JJB Stadium. It's Wigan Athletic 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. Welcome back to the JJB Stadium then for this Barclays English Premier League fixture. It's Wigan Athletic versus Bolton Wanderers. And at half-time, it's 0-0. 5 Sunday fixtures this in the Premiership this weekend. It will be Wigan Athletic who will get us underway for the second 45 minutes. No changes at half-time. It's Wigan Athletic who get us underway. But the bright sunshine we had at kick-off has now given way to a fine drizzle. Autumnal conditions in the northwest of England. Wigan and Bolton, so impressive last season. Bolton finishing 6th in the Premiership. Wigan winning promotion to the top flight for the first time ever. Bullard, who had such a good opportunity for Wigan in the first half. Header which was easily saved by Jussi Jääskeläinen. It's Bullard's cross. Francis! Again, it was well gathered by the Bolton Wanderers goalkeeper.
Yeah, didn't get the best of purchase on it there, Francis. Jääskeläinen equal to it early in this second half.
There's no doubt that this drizzle might make things interesting. Ball will be zipping off this wonderful surface at the JJB Stadium. Wigan Athletics sharing the stadium with the Wigan Warriors Rugby League team. Here's a Kocher. Now Gardner. Nakata taking advantage of the back heel there by Nolan. Hanging in the air for Davis. Speed. Benai, 3 to pick out inside that Wigan penalty area. Nakata just sat himself then. Taylor was able to ease the ball on.
I'm not having this linesman at all. The ball's nowhere near out there. Can't believe that.
Jimmy Bullard not showing a great deal of emotion. Pedersen's throw. Davis. Davis unable to twist away from Taylor, who's operating as a right back, having come on as a substitute in the first half, midway through the first half, in place of Pascal Chimbonda. Pedersen's throw. Now by De Zee. Pedersen again. Bullard. Camera. Kavanagh in support. Camera wants to go on his own. Now he's found Bullard. It's Henri Camera. Brilliantly taken. What a magnificent finish. Henri Camera has brought the JJB alive at the start of the second half. He seemed to have taken the wrong option, but he found Bullard, and when Bolton couldn't clear, they were punished by Henri Camera.
Well, I was going to say he took the wrong option. Kavanagh made a great run. He didn't choose to play him in. Gets lucky here. That's a shocking header. And doesn't he do this well? That's an awful defensive header. Puts right in the path of Camera. Just draws the keeper. Just dinks it out. Hits the underside of the bar and goes in. Magnificent finish. But look at this. The poor defending from Ngotti. Still had a lot to do. Keeper goes to ground. And Camera finishes tremendously. It's amazing. Ngotti hardly put a foot wrong in the first half. What was he thinking with that header?
Well, he did make the point that Bruno Ngotti, since he returned from suspension, during that time, Bolton had conceded just 1 goal in the 4 Premiership games that he played in. But that was a dreadful mistake by the French international, normally so assured at the back for Bolton Wanderers.
Well, it's just before the goal when Cameron's made his break, and I've seen Kavanagh breaking his neck to get there, and he doesn't play him in. I'm thinking, I said in the first half, his awareness and his inability at times to pick the right option could have cost him, but his finish just overtook that. That was terrific.
Henri Camera, who joined Wigan Athletic from Wolverhampton Wanderers for a record £3 million. Injured when he began his Wigan Athletic career, but he scored on his debut as a substitute against Middlesbrough, and he scored again here at the JJB now to give Wigan the lead against Bolton Wanderers. Davis. Nakata. McCulloch back to help his defence out. And it's often said what a difference a goal makes.
Well,
Suddenly there's some more urgency about the entire game.
Yeah, Bolton have got to come out now and get something out of it. I'm sure it won't be long before we see somebody like El Hadj Diouf come on.
Okocha. Now no. Gardner's rather isolated. Cavan. Roberts. He skipped away from Ngotti. Not JJB. Buller. Wigan playing with plenty of confidence. Buller keen to take charge, as is Francis. Short pass that from Onshaw, but kept in play by Taylor. McCarthy. Nolan ahead of him.
Trying to stick to his guns very well there. Speed with the shot. She's thudded against Dezeau's forehead. Roberts slipped, no foul. JJ Okocha is struggling a little bit with a groin problem.
Okocha has come across to this near touchline to have words with Sam Allardyce, his manager. Gardner with Taylor. Wigan have the throw. At the moment, Wigan down to 10 men and Bolton at the moment then down to 10 men. JJB. Dezeau climbing above Davis. Bates. Cavan. Baines had gone on and he was challenged there by Ben Haim on the edge of the penalty area.
Jääskeläinen chastising Baines there. He clearly feels he was held back.
And they're now having words with the Bolton Wanderers goalkeeper.
Mr. Wiley saying, look, that's my job, leave that to me, you just keep goal.
Taking his time over this throw-in. Bolton keen to make their substitution. Okocha has gone off. Giannakopoulos is about to come on.
That was a clumsy challenge in a bad area there by Nolan. Needlessly gave a free kick away, bundling Roberts to the ground.
Stelios Giannakopoulos on in place of JJ Okocha, passing on some instructions to his teammates. Kavanagh poised to take the free kick. Roberts on the edge of the 6-yard area. Dezeau has gone forward. Onshaw's in there. It's too long for everyone.
Well, that's not like Kavanagh. Usually very, very good at situations like that, and that's a nothing ball. Takes the pressure right off Bolton.
Bolton Wanderers behind them. The first goal they've conceded in 4 games in the Premiership. And that's when they let in was from the penalty spot in the last minute of their win over West Ham United. Teddy Sheringham, the scorer. Now it's Henry Camera who's given Wigan the lead here.
The nature in which they conceded it was very poor as well. Ngotti trying to be clever maybe with the header straight in Camera's path. Niggling going on out there at the moment. Just the goal, both teams getting a bit het up.
Davis. Gardner slipped, but Taylor kept his footing and was able to clear. wasted a couple of great opportunities for Wigan in the first half. Sam Allardyce has given up his seat in the stand. He's now down on the touchline.
It looks like El Hadji is coming on.
Speed's throw. Davis is under that. Kavanagh was brave. Wigan have the free kick. Bolton ready to bring on El Hadji. Camera. Davis. Giannakopoulos just on as a substitute. Speed. Benahi. Nakata. Won back by Francis. Given away then by Banks. Nakata. And show up. Here's Davis. Now Gardner. Deflection is out to Speed. Touched on by Nakata, but deceived Davis, but not Giannakopoulos, who is alert then, and Bolton are able to apply a bit more pressure.
He was looking for his goalkeeper Filan to come and pick that ball up, but he didn't come off his line.
Speed wants to take the throw, but first Bolton Wanderers will make a change. Ricardo Gardner is going off to be replaced by El Hadji.
Mr. Popular.
El Hadji on as a substitute then for Bolton Wanderers. Reacquainting himself with Aaron Deseu, who may well be marking him now. Speed with the throw. Pedersen's header on. Buller. Strong challenge by Giannakopoulos. Nakata. Giannakopoulos is offside.
The best of the balls, but he was still offside.
There's Bruno Ngotti, whose mistake presented Wigan with the chance to take the lead.
What was he thinking here? Just heads it straight back across the face of his own goal. The finish is absolutely top quality, but just cannot. It's confused me what he was trying to do here. He wasn't trying to head it back to his keeper. But the finish is sublime.
In his defence, he was possibly off balance, but he might have been looking towards that Tal Benahi. Whatever, he played his teammates into trouble, and Wigan now have the lead. Davis. Nakata. Giannakopoulos. No. Last challenge by Kavanagh.
I didn't think he fouled Nolan. Didn't look to be much contact.
Fairness, it was probably a wild swipe and no more. Kavanagh, who joined Wigan last season from Cardiff City to help them towards the Premiership. Nolan over the ball. Speed's having a look. Maybe Nakata's the favourite. It is Nakata. And by Jaidi. Nolan might get his chance. Filan tries to punch but doesn't get there. And he can be grateful that Ryan Taylor is back inside that 6-yard area to get the ball to safety.
Well, again, he's come for a ball that wasn't his. And he's got nowhere near it. Last week he was doing it, he's doing it this afternoon. He must be causing his manager so many flutters. So It's hooked in back by Nolan. He comes, he's got to come over bodies, and he's missed it again. There's 3 bodies in front, he's got to come across them. Stelios just stands his ground, and luckily he's got a defender on the line to clear it.
Wigan forced into making a change during the first half because Pascal Chimbonda took a blow on the thigh. And Farron is now back on his feet. Returned to the team in place of Mike Pollard for a League Cup tie against Bournemouth, and kept his place for the Premiership game at Everton last weekend.
I just say to the referee there was an elbow in his ribs, but there wasn't. Stelios just stood his ground.
Speeds throw. And by Davis. Ngotti. Here's Juve. Giannakopoulos is onside. And the shot was deflected. It will be a corner kick.
I think he picked the wrong option there. There were bodies in the box. But he put it across the face of the goal. It was his best option.
Nolan inside the 6-yard area. Again making life uncomfortable for Filan, the goalkeeper. Appeals there from the Bolton players for a handball against Graham Kavanagh. Just chested the ball to safety. Camara. Bullard is marked on the far side if he can pick him out. Henri Camara goes on. Bullard has got that. Camara gets a second chance. And what a hit that was from Lee McCulloch. Fabulous finish. Guilty of a dreadful miss in the first half. But a sweet, sweet finish there to make it 2-0 now to Wigan Athletic.
Well, the one he missed just before half-time, he might have been ruined. Camara again does the damage, puts a decent ball in there, attacked well by Bullard. Camara again gets the ball, but what about that for a strike? That is major quality. Bullard does ever so well, but Camara does well. Awareness there, brave, but look at that for a finish. Low, hard, half volley, difficult technique. But he gets right over it this time, gets everything right, and that's a terrific strike.
Lee McCulloch, Wigan Athletics player of the season, 14 goals last season. That's his first in the Premiership. And he's just won a recall to the Scottish international squad for their World Cup qualifiers against Belarus and Slovenia next week. He has seen it all at Wigan. Seen the progress from the lower leagues up now into the Premiership. And showing that he can do it in the Premiership.
Well, a lot of people were saying, would they be able to take this giant step into the Premiership? They'll be coming straight back down. It was easy to say for a lot of people, but there's more to this Wigan team and more to their manager than that. It's too easy to say things like that. They've proved so far they have the quality, the desire, the organisation to do well at the top flight. That's Chelsea.
Jason Roberts has just been spoken to. It was Roberts who said before the season started that there was no doubt that Wigan were in there to make up the numbers this season. Bullard. Now Francis. Bullard again. There's a real zip about Wigan's passing at the moment. Wigan in the second half showing that they've the ability to catch teams on the counter-attack. Just 23 seconds from that Bolton corner, which ultimately led to Wigan's second goal. Roberts was being held.
He was being held, but the assistant referee could see everything that was going on and never raised his flag. And the Wigan substitutes are having a right go at him, and rightly so.
A yellow card for Bruno Ngotti, who's left the scene of the crime. The Hasn't enjoyed the second half. Bullard then with a free kick. Zhao is arriving behind McCulloch then.
Just off balance there, Zhao. Good delivery from Bullard. And his teammate the chance to attack it.
JJB up. Here's Kavanagh. JJB again. Touched on by McCulloch to Kavanagh. Kavanagh. Ball is spun out to Bullard. Taylor providing support. Taylor goes on, and that's a terrific ball in. Well gathered by Jaskalainen.
He did gather it well. It was put in a good area, but there was no striped shirt anywhere near it.
No. Bullard back to cover his fullback. Taylor, who'd ventured well forward then. Mentioned about Bolton being well organised. You have to say they're playing this 4-4-2 system. Wigan as well have the ability to fill in whenever they have to.
Well, you see the 4-4-2 working very well. And Blackburn went to Old Trafford and won that game by playing that system. And there's nothing wrong with the 4-4-2. Again, if you've got the right players within that system.
Pedersen's throw. Missed by Onshaw. Davis trying to elude Onshaw now. By Pedersen. Fisted away by Phelan. Here's Juve. Juve. Giannakopoulos speeds up, and so is JJB. And Bolton Wanderers have pulled a goal back in.
Well, Giannakopoulos does ever so well here. Well worked between Juve and him. Dives in, but the quality of the cross is terrific, and the header, perfect. Powerful downward header. Con's a defender, but the quality of the ball is such that JJB attacks it back to where it came from. You don't stop then. He looks up, puts it in the right area, and a powerful downward header. No chance for Phelan whatsoever.
Bolton Wanderers have pulled the goal back. Now JJB, who has missed the last two games because of a hamstring problem. JJB's first goal since the final game of last season when Bolton enjoyed a 3-2 win over Everton.
Well, the Bolton formation looks to be a little bit more positive. Juve, Giannakopoulos and Davis, it looks a three up there. They have the personnel to do that.
Just over 20 minutes remaining then. And by Davis. The ball spun away from Juve. He thinks it's a corner kick, but it will be a goal kick. Some Allardyce knows that Bolton will have to dig deep here. Wigan well organised. Bolton with all that travelling this week. They were in Bulgaria on Friday before they flew home. Not the ideal preparation for a local derby which has come to life in this second half.
Well, we'll see three quality finishes, top draw finishes.
Juve, Anakata. Pedersen, who's shown his adaptability this season. Juve again. Giannakopoulos.
They're switching so well now, Bolton. Giannakopoulos on the right-hand side made the goal. Now he's on the left-hand side, trying to move people around, trying to make Wigan think.
Another big Premiership test for Wigan Athletic. 4 games unbeaten in the Premiership, one which has produced 10 points. Also successful in the League Cup. Bolton unbeaten in 5 Premiership games. McCarthy. And by Davis. Davis gets the rebound off De Zeu. And De Zeu was being blocked there.
Very good decision by the referee. There's definitely a block on there to allow Davis to get in behind. You see it here. Giannakopoulos comes across, there's a block. The referee makes a very good decision.
Now showing Juve to get helped on by Kavanagh. Nolan is now operating in the central midfield for Bolton. Giannakopoulos prepared to scrap. Juve to his left. McCarthy's made a forward run. Giannakopoulos just lost his footing. There's no doubt that drizzle just at the start of the second half has made a difference to this surface. Jääskeläinen has come out a long way. Camera. And Roberts.
Well, may have thought he didn't have as much time there as he clearly did, but again, it's Camera, the one who's causing the problems. Jääskeläinen comes a long way. A look up here, an intelligent look up, just dinks it for Roberts. Whether he didn't know his whereabouts there, but he had a lot of time.
Giannakopoulos is onside. And was rather hasty with the cross.
They've actually looked more of a threat since Giannakopoulos has come on, and Juve moving Wigan around a little bit more. The swapping positions well. Juve and Giannakopoulos.
Juve, who scored 9 goals in the Premiership last season. He signed a 4-year deal with Bolton Wanderers in the summer after his season-long loan from Liverpool. Juve, who's developed into something of a pantomime villain for supporters the length and breadth of the Premiership. Involved in that unseemly incident with Aaron De Zeu last season when De Zeu was at Portsmouth and also sent off against Arsenal.
He's a very talented player though, El Hadji Diouf, no doubting that. What Wigan can't afford to do here now is sit back and drop too deep and allow Bolton to come at them. If you do that, they have the midfield to damage you.
It's early days, but Wigan have yet to lose the lead in a Premiership game after they've gone in front.
Gary Speed's been a big key this second half. He just sits in there and allows everybody else to go forward. He'll sit and hold.
In by Ngotti. Looking towards Juve. Giannakopoulos. Not for the first time, he just lost his balance and lost his footing.
Oh, what a chance that is. Is there something about this penalty box? We see Davis win the ball well. It's a fresh air shot again by Giannakopoulos. We saw McCulloch do exactly the same first half. Lovely little touch. Comes over his shoulder. Difficult technique to get that on target. But he'll clearly feel that was a good chance.
McCulloch. Camera's shot, which was deflected. Or was it?
Well, he's a bag of tricks, isn't he? camera. Quick feet, jinks inside, commits players, and that's wide. It is wide, but terrific ability again.
And the camera who joined Wigan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. On loan last season to Southampton, who of course were relegated at the end of the Premiership campaign. Speed. Shaw across to cover. Roberts. Now McCulloch. Away from Ben Haim. Gotti got there ahead of Camera. He can have the free kick.
That gentleman doesn't agree with the referee's decision, but not to be contact.
Stelios Giannakopoulos. There was a lot of talk linking him with both Liverpool and Manchester City before he agreed to extend his time with Bolton Wanderers. Kavanagh.
That's the second disappointing free kick we've seen from Graham Kavanagh. Takes the pressure off Bolton.
Clearance that by Jääskeläinen. Here's Juve. Juve has done well. Out by De Gea, and his friend Nakata. It's Taylor who shows remarkable composure there to ease the ball back towards his goalkeeper.
That's difficult as well. That ball was spinning, but Taylor full of confidence.
Taylor, who's done well since coming on as a first-half substitute for Wigan. One important clearance from just ahead of the goal line to save the blushes of his keeper here, John Filan. Buller. Jääskeläinen able to cushion the cross then from Jimmy Bullard before he gathered.
Yeah, he knew what was around him there, Jääskeläinen.
Much better second half. Far more open. Far more opportunities. Juve just tapping Bullard's heels.
Yeah, Bullard did well there. First touch was good. Now we see the bad in, now has Juve.
Taylor tries to pick out Roberts. Pedersen. Gotti with Roberts. Buller. Francis. Chases on from McCulloch.
Not the best of balls there.
McCulloch goes down brilliantly. So to Ben Haim to get back and to get in a challenge.
McCulloch did do well there. He was sold a bad ball there by Damien Francis, who's never really got into this game. That man has certainly got involved and gives his all to get his team a corner.
Onshaw and De Gea have made their move. Stefan Onshaw hasn't actually scored a goal for 10 years. In by Bullard. Fisted away. Hammered back in by Damien Francis. That was a great stop by Jääskeläinen.
That was more than a great stop, that was a magnificent save. This ball comes out and he was hit with such venom and he had to react from the punch. Look at that for a save. Major quality that is.
Terrific save by Jussi Jääskeläinen. And again by Bullard. De Gea felt that he was being held then. The referee perhaps didn't get a good sight of it. There's no doubt that Jussi Jääskeläinen didn't get a particularly good sight of this shot from Damien Francis.
So look at this, he punches the first one, it comes out, and the venom with which that's hit, he had to react again. That is brilliant.
Damien Francis on target last weekend from close in against Everton. It would have been some goal had he not been denied by Jääskeläinen.
I think the save was brilliant in itself, but the reaction he had to make after punching the ball out so quickly was terrific.
Inside the last 10 minutes then. Wigan leading by 2 goals to 1. Buller. Now McCulloch, who scored the second goal. Francis, just denied by Jääskeläinen.
Overplaying it a little bit there, Wigan.
Speed. On by Nakata. He's done well to find Stelios Giannakopoulos. Nolan well forward here. Davis now arriving inside the penalty area. Swept in by Ben Hayim. He's looking towards Davis. Helped away by Francis.
Not very
Wigan
well.
defending weak. Sorry, Gary.
Not very well helped away by Francis. It was sloppy.
Here's Speed. There with Juve.
It's always going to be a foul. Dragging him back, just trying to usher the ball out for a goal kick, and he has pulled him back. The old battle resumes, and it's gone round his neck, and he's saying that's not a foul. It's a foul in every league, in every world.
Again, Alan Deseo doesn't react. Speed loses out. Camera, I think, had committed the foul.
Yeah, there's a little kick out there, previous.
Zeo again strong in the air. Alan Deseo now in his second spell with Wigan Athletic. Paul Jewell, the manager, has spoken about his admiration for Deseo's professionalism. Roberts. Roberts goes on. Deflected. Camera. Flag is raised. Offside, and it won't count.
It's unlucky from Jason Roberts. The flag was straight up there. Lovely ball played. Good first touch from Jason Roberts. Good run again by Camera. Takes a defender, but there he's clearly in play. Well offside.
Patterson. Now Juve. Held up by Taylor. Held by Onsha. Bolton keen to make another substitution. They want to bring on the prolific Mexican international striker, Jared Borghetti. Hirotoshi Nakata is going off here.
Good bad Nakata.
Jared Borghetti, the first Mexican to play in the English Premiership. Scored for Mexico against Panama, one of the goals which will take them to the World Cup finals next year. Pedersen's throw. Pedersen again.
And Taylor blocks it well. Got out quickly to face Pedersen there.
Long again by Pedersen. Juve. They seem to stop and wait, and Speed has got his chance. And so to Giannakopoulos, who was there ahead of Borghetti.
Mate, what a miss that is. There's 3-on-1 at the far post there. Giannakopoulos. We see this here. The ball comes in. It's bouncing. There's another fresh air shot in that penalty box. It's not hit well here, but look at 3-on-1 at the far post. One of the three could have put it in, and it was an atrocious attempt in the end.
I think Giannakopoulos snatched at that because Borghetti was just as keen to get on the end of Gary Speed's cross shot.
Question marks about the defending, leaving Taylor with 3 at the far post.
Defensively, Wigan have been very tight this season. They've conceded just 5 goals in the Premiership. This is their 7th game. Roberts. Now Bullard. Roberts is coming back from an offside position. Acknowledged by the referee. Play allowed to continue. Inside the last 5 minutes there. Back come Bolton. Giannakopoulos. Now Juve. Firm challenge by De Gea. We might have another go. This time De Gea's lost out. Juve goes down. And Bolton have the free kick.
And again, the assistant referee was closer than the referee. Didn't give it. I always thought there might be a little bit of contact there, but it's a silly area to give a free kick away, and it could be costly for them. It's all come about because the previous attack, Bullard passed on the responsibility back to Roberts, who was offside. They're in a good area, and that could cost them.
It's an inviting position for a free kick if you're an attacker. In by speed. Thielen again didn't get there. Juve missed his chance.
That's a free header. Thielen again doesn't come for it. You don't like to keep going on about it, but last week he didn't have a good game. This time we see he tries to come again. He's not going to get there, and Elhaj Diouf has let him off the hook there.
Elhaj Diouf, who's still waiting for his first goal in the Premiership this season. Scored in the home 2-1 win over Lokomotiv Plovdiv of Bulgaria. Bolton with one eye on the UEFA Cup this season.
You've got to give Bolton credit. They've come back into this game 2-0 down. They looked out of it. They've been a threat most of this second half. Just some poor finishing, you have to say, has let them down.
In by Baines. Here's Francis. Significant that when Wigan had that free kick, neither De Gea or Onshaw went forward. Wigan keen to hang on. Bolton looking for an equaliser. In by Juve. Giannakopoulos.
Pressure taken off Wigan. The assistant's flag went up and pointed the other way, but the referee saw it as a free kick by Giannakopoulos. Diouf does well here, skips inside, sees the run of Giannakopoulos. Was there an arm there? There's the linesman's flag going half up.
And while he prepared to take responsibility, the referee, however, Juve. Now Pedersen. Juve again. Onshaw able to take a bit of the pressure off that Wigan back line.
Onshaw did well, came across, put it down the line, knowing that he'd got to put that ball out.
Wigan want to make another substitution. They want to bring on David Connolly, another attacking option for them. Signed just before the August transfer deadline from Leicester City.
It shows their intent, doesn't it? They're 2-1 up. Most teams would have put a defender on. Paul Jules put in another attacker on.
Henri Camara.
Sensible play from Camara. Doesn't need to do anything else. Yeah, well played, Camara. Good strike play. Runs the clock down a little bit more. Sensible.
Camara just looking across to the halfway line for confirmation that he is the man who's coming off here.
He's been tremendous, Camara. He's caused Bolton problems from the first whistle. No wonder he's getting this ovation. He thoroughly deserves it.
Camara going off then, having given Wigan the lead in this second half. Lee McCulloch extending the advantage to 2-0. Bolton pulling the goal back through Ravi Jaidi. 3 extra minutes we'll have, and we're now in stoppage time at the end of this second half. And surprisingly, Wigan in no hurry to take this throw. Kevin getting a nudge in the back by Speed.
And Pedersen saying to the referee, the assistant is 1.5 feet away from the ball and he's not given it. Clearly a push, and again the assistant doesn't help his referee.
Roberts. Now Bullock. Kavanagh. Francis. Nolan with Bullard. Bolton have the free kick.
Strange play from Wigan there. They chose to go right the way back from their opponent's 18-yard box to their own goalkeeper.
Second minute of stoppage time there. Launched forward by Jaskelainen. Deseo there ahead of Borghetti. Ben Haim. Jaidi with a header. And this time he can't find the target.
We saw the power with his first header that got Bolton back in the game, tried it again. Lovely dink in the box here, he tacks it well, it's a long way out, just couldn't get the direction on it.
Crowd of over 20,000 at JJB Stadium for this local derby. And the Wigan supporters here have had to endure an anxious last few minutes. Can they hold on? Wigan unbeaten in 4 games in the Premiership. Bolton 5 Premiership games unbeaten. Are they heading for their first defeat since they lost at home to Everton?
You can hear from our commentary point at the chairman, Davy Whelan, sitting impassively.
Wayward header by Connell. Speed set to wind up another long throw. Now by Deseo. The referee spotted an infringement. It will be a free kick to Wigan Athletic.
A huge sigh of relief around the ground. Referee giving a free kick there as the clock ticks away.
He has had the answer for all those who said that Wigan would be amongst the also-rans in their first season in the Premiership. Wigan set to extend their unbeaten run in the Premiership to 5 games now. Francis. Bullard. Wigan have continued their unbeaten run. 5 games unbeaten in the Premiership on the day when Bolton Wanderers have missed the chance of going second in the Premiership. Henri Camara it was who gave Wigan Athletic the lead at the start of the second half following a dreadful slip by Bruno Ngotti. Lee McCulloch with a magnificent finish to make it 2-0. That just about put the game beyond Bolton's reach, even though Ravi Jaidi pulled one back with a fine header. Maybe the efforts of the UEFA Cup on Thursday in Bulgaria proved ultimately too much for Bolton Wanderers. But Wigan are enjoying the Premiership. Paul Jewell, their manager, certainly is. And at the JJB Stadium, it's finished Wigan Athletic 2, Bolton Wanderers 1. So after a rather tense first half, it was Wigan Athletic who took the advantage right at the start of the second half. A dreadful mistake by Bruno Ngotti, presenting Henri Camara with a chance to put Wigan in front. A splendid finish by Camara. 1-0 was soon to be 2-0. A great finish by Lee McCulloch, his first ever goal in the Premiership, and a first goal in the Premiership for Wigan's player of the season from last season. But Bolton made it interesting late on. They were adventurous and they pulled a goal back from Radi Jaidi, but it wasn't enough. And here at the JJB, Wigan have won by 2-1.